Kirava.
Oh, it's you again. What in blazes do you want?
I managed to acquire quite a bit of that, Blackbriar mead that you were having trouble obtaining. Perhaps you'd be willing to buy it? Mostly just because I'd like it out of my pack. There's quite a bit of it. Fantastic. Thank you, Kirava.
Door's over there. Why don't you use it?
Yes. I know you're not very fond of me right now. I'll make it up to you later, at some point. Maybe. Now, I do believe we need to go and have a chat with the Thieves Guild. Vex and Delvin, I think, were the individuals that I needed to talk to. Let's see what they have to say. The sun's finally beginning to set as well. Should make things a bit easier for our mission. Right then. Oh, in fact, let's go use the shortcut now that we know it exists. And now that you're not...
looking for you. Got something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands only. Let's see. Looks like that's it. Got to go.
Oh, joy. What on earth did you... What... Greetings. I'm contacting you today because I recently procured a rare item through a merchant and was informed that they obtained this item from you. But I suppose I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm Orion Morellis? The curator of the dragon must be a high elf. Ugh, only they have such pompous names. Perhaps an imperial. The creator of the Dragonborn Gathering Museum in Solitude. Solitude? I was hoping you might be interested in procuring some additional items for me to display in the museum. I would compensate you generously for what you are able to find in return. I hope to meet you soon. Orion Morellis. Interesting. Dragonborn Gallery. Well then, I suppose that's worth knowing, actually. Museums tend to pay much better than a random little shop. Interesting. And I can't believe that fool wanted 10 gold for a map as well. Oh, hush, I know. Cats don't like water. You'll get over it. I gave you a HUD? A hood for this reason. Right, let's go have a chat with Delvin and Vex, see what we can learn, and then go for a bit of a trip, shall we? Right then. Hello, Delvin. I'd like a bit of advice if you had some time.
See, that kind of attitude comes from someone who wants to get rich and stay alive long enough to enjoy it. We're going to get along nicely. So, if you've got the nerve, I've got plenty of extra jobs to help get the guild back on its feet.
Back on its feet? I'm glad everybody seems to realize that this place is rapidly dying.
Look around you. The flagon, the guild, it's all falling apart. A few decades ago, this place was as busy as the Imperial City. Now, you'll be lucky if you don't trip over a skeever instead.
Yes, I've definitely noticed that, and it did feel a bit odd, all things considered.
Look, I know the others think I'm a bit dark for saying stuff like this, but I'm gonna give it you straight. Something out there is piss-drunk mad at us. I don't know who or what it is, but it's beyond just you and me. We've been cursed.
A curse? Well, unless you've pissed off some especially powerful divine or Daedra, I find that highly unlikely. But you're, of course, welcome to whatever opinion you wish. Either way, I'd like your advice on what you think we can fix, what we can do to fix this problem.
I'll tell you what we do. We spit in that curse's face and turn things around down here. Put things back the way they were. That's where you come in. I've got plenty of work available that could guide us down the road to recovery. All you need to do is ask, and we can both come out of this smelling like a rose.
Or at least one of us. You don't exactly look the cleanest, don't mind my saying. In any case, I would like to know about these extra jobs, but first, do you know anything about the Goldenglow estate?
Watch yourself out there. The mercenaries are in Goff hire to train killers. Just ask our poor little Vex.
I intend to. For now, though, let's see. What? As if it wasn't obvious how extra jobs would help. I hear you're offering extra work. Exactly what are you offering? And how many can I take at once? I'd like to knock out as many as possible. After all, if this place can get back on its feet, it may actually be a worthy ally to have in the future.
I handle the fishing, numbers, and bedlam jobs. The ones with a more personal touch. If breaking's a more your thing, go talk to Vex.
Intriguing. Generally, numbers jobs are when you go into buildings and alter the numbers in their ledgers, usually in the favor of a client. Fishing, I assume, is just pickpocketing. Bedlam, I would assume, is just stealing as much as possible. And that sounds like a very easy way to start things off.
Sometimes we just like to remind the city that we mean business, so we hit 'em hard. Just steal whatever we can until we made an impression. Simple, right? Almost. The catch is, it doesn't count if anyone sees you take it. The message needs to be clear. We work in the shadows. Steal from anywhere in the hold, and you even get to keep everything you stole. So, you in?
That sounds absolutely perfect, actually. Yes, we'll start with that.
Here's everything you need. You get caught, but we've never heard of you.
Obviously. Right then. That's one way to start things off. Solitude is where the mission's at as well. How perfect. Right, now where's the pretty blonde? Ah. Good evening, my dear.
Before we begin, I want to make two things perfectly clear.
Oh.
One, I'm the best infiltrator this rat hole of a guild's got. So if you think you're here to replace me, you're dead wrong. And two, you follow my lead and do exactly as I say. No questions, no excuses.
Ah, sorry, but a pretty face doesn't help with a bad attitude, dear. Back off. I know exactly what I'm doing, and I'm only here to talk to you because it was recommended. Watch your step, or, well, I'll just ignore you. And, honestly, that won't be much of a loss, I'm afraid.
Now you I like. I've been getting sick of the pushovers that usually walk in here. I think you and I are gonna get along just fine. Now it's time to get your feet wet, and I don't want to waste a lot of time talking about anything but business.
Oh, good. We're in agreement. Specifically the business involving Goldenglow and any extra jobs you may offer. Brynjolf mentioned it. I'm glad we actually are going to get along, and you can put away the little sharp tongue of yours.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for you. We're in a bad way down here.
I've noticed. Delvin had the same input.
Who knows? Old Delvin thinks it's some kind of curse. I think he's crazy. If you want my opinion, I'd say it's just plain old bad luck.
Well, curses, bad luck, it's all really the same. Some supernatural force above you that you can't control. I think it sounds more like lack of effort, personally. In fact, if I'm the only one taking these extra jobs, I feel inclined to believe that. So, for now, what can we do? What extra jobs are you able to offer me?
You can get out there and start making a name for us again. Make them start fearing us like they did long ago. And while you're at it, make a little bit of coin on the side. Not a bad deal, eh?
Well, that was the idea, yes. Before we get into that extra work, however, I heard you ran into a bit of trouble at Goldenglow. Any recommendations?
Yeah, I did. That wood elf's wit. He's a lot smarter than I expected. Can you believe that fetcher had more than tripled the guard? There must have been 8 of them in there. It was like he was daring us to come and get him.
Oh, well, now that just sounds like a fun challenge to me. Any tips on getting me in there?
Well, there's an old sewer tunnel that dumps into the lake on the northwest side of the island. That's how I slipped in there. Should still be unguarded.
Fantastic. Well, not fantastic. It's going to probably smell horrible since it's an actual sewer exit. But beggars can't be choosers, and if it gets me the job done, well, then it will be good enough. Now, about those extra jobs you're offering.
I handle the burglary, shell, sweep, and heist jobs. Most of them involve breaking and entering. If you don't like that kind of work, talk to Delvin. He runs the more up-close and personal jobs.
That sounds just fine to me. Let's see, what about... a standard burglary job does sound like it would correlate quite well. Yes, let's just do a simple burglary job for now.
Pretty simple. Break into a house, grab a specific item, and get out before they realize what's going on. The catch is you can't kill anyone who lives there, or you forfeit the payment. You ready for some good old-fashioned burglary?
Sounds good to me.
Good. Here's what you need to do.
Perfect. So, we have 2 extra jobs. Of course, they would never align. Contracts never do. Windhelm and Solitude. Well, it's a good start now, isn't it? Alright, the next step, I do believe, should be... Goldenglow, I think. Although, before that, I think it's time for another midnight stroll. And perhaps a drink beforehand. I would like to acquire some poisons if I'm going to be dealing with mercenaries. Right. So while they're arguing and while she's in bed, let's, enjoy a few things, shall we? Right then. Don't need much, except for everything. Watch out, Inigo. Goodness. Just shove it all into sacks, and then put those sacks into my bag. Right then. That's a little close, Inigo. I don't know how he didn't notice you. He seems a bit preoccupied, so it's fine. She's asleep, thankfully. Maybe if we're quiet. Ah, he's drinking. He's barely conscious. That explains it. He probably won't even think anything of us, as long as we are careful. Right then. Right, don't mind me. I'm just, going out for a bit of a walk. I don't know how we managed that. I didn't expect that idiot to come bumbling in drunk. Right then. On to the next one. Right, doesn't look like anyone's around. Unlike the damn keep, there's no drunken idiot. Let's have a poke inside, shall we? Not like that, though. Close. There we are. Now let's see what's in here, shall we? Good, good, good. They're all asleep. Let's just, ransack the entire place. Yes, that sounds perfect. I don't think I need the food, but, well, grabbing everything else, so why not? They're going to most assuredly know I'm here this time. There's no way around it. I'll look exactly into what I... Well, that's not what I meant to take. I suppose I'll use that basket to hold all these things, though. Now, nice and quiet. Let's just poke our heads around the corner, shall we? Good, they're asleep. Now, I wonder... Okay, or not. No. Out we go, out we go, out we go. She didn't actually see my face, thankfully. She was still drowsy. Whew, that was quite careful. Let's move on, move on, move on. Right then. That was almost very unfortunate. Thankfully, she was still half asleep. Now, I suppose we should look into what we can actually make. I should take a moment to taste a few of these. Now, let's see. What do we have total gathered up? Husk, Blue Mountain Flower, bone meal. Ugh, this is going to be an interesting taste. Ugh. Chaurus eggs. We'll just try one of each, shall we? Oh, God. Some of these are absolutely horrid. Most of them, in fact. Ugh. Ugh. Even if it's just a bit of a taste, that's absolutely horrible. Ugh. 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 Well, that could have gone better, but it was needed. And now there's an idea of what all we can make. Right. I suppose now we should head back to the Thieves Guild, brew a few things, perhaps buy some extra poisons, and then... Yes, I know. And then head to Goldenglow. Well, this should be intriguing. While these damn herbs are getting out of my system, among other things. Ugh. Oh, well, now that is a fantastic bow. Also, sorry to bother you while you were sleeping. This was important. It was the, big mission for, Brynjolf. Yes, anyway, I would definitely like to have that bow. An enchantment that passively infuses arrows with poison. You don't have any poisons in question, but this makes everything better. Right then, and when I outgrow it, I can simply learn the enchantment myself. Perfect. Right then. Well, I do believe it's time for our little trip, don't you, Inigo? Let's see where this takes us. Well, seems harmless enough for now. I haven't been out of a town in a very long time. I hear Khajiit. Well, unimportant for now. Right then. Bring up the map that I purchased from Boldy. Now, Riften is here. And the Goldenglow estate, Brynjolf marked it for me, is there. So we need to go west. Right then. With the rain, I feel like we should pick up the pace a bit, don't you? Good evening, my good Khajiit. Unfortunately, you are no interest to me for now. I bet that's it. Well, we picked a good time, it would seem. I don't mean that ironically. Trying to sneak in somewhere is always good when there's plenty of rain and cover. Now, Vex commented on a sewer drain that drains out into the lake. Perhaps it's time for us to go swimming. Though I'm sure you will not be fond of that now, will you? Let's see how this goes, shall we?
Look at you, splashing about.
Shh, Inigo. We're trying to sneak in, not make a ruckus. Where is this little sewer entrance that she mentioned? Oh. Blech. Water in my mouth. It's not the worst tasting, but certainly not something I'd enjoy. I don't see it, but that doesn't mean it isn't here. Either way, the water definitely seems like it was the better way to go. Let's see if there is an entrance anywhere. Well, there's a back door. That's always nice. The question is there anything else? Oh, I see. This is what she was referring to. I thought it would be a pipe sticking out into the water. Right, well. Let's go in, shall we? As quietly as possible, preferably. Now then. Oh, hello. I hate to waste this enchantment on you, but you'll be a good test subject. Next. No. Alright. Oh! Well. That certainly works too, now doesn't it? What's in here? Nothing of note. Very well. Inigo. Thank you. Ah, there it is. There's most assuredly a third one. Hello, goodbye. Let me just chop off all your tails. That'll be quite useful for poisons. Seems others have fallen in here and been less lucky. Dying by the hands of a skeever, now that just sounds embarrassing. Oh, well, right then. I really do hope this is insulated. They probably all heard that, but I really couldn't resist. Now then. Well, that wasn't exactly what I was after. Box. Just a bit more. Ah. Really now. Much better. Once we have this cleared out, I'll feel better about going in through that back door. And that looks quite interesting. Guide to better thieving. Well, I'll pocket it and read it later. As much as I'd love to just say I could go, oh well now. More enchantments I don't know. Fantastic. Also, Inigo.
What do you need?
I have a shield for you, my friend.
Lighten your load if I can.
Right then. Let's see. Here you are. Much better.
I'm with you all the way.
Good. Now get out of my way. Now we could just say, oh, it's safe enough to go diving into the water from the back door, but that isn't really enough for me. You can still be shot trying to swim. I'd rather have this clear. Must you be this way? I understand you were trying to be my shield, but really, I was aiming. If I can get this back passage clear, I will feel much better about our chances above. If anything goes wrong, we can simply dive into the sewers and lose them through here. Which is a far better option than just jumping into the water and praying they don't know how to swim. Now, where does this come out so I can plan ahead? On this side of the water line. Alright. Good to know. Back in we go, Inigo. Right then. Patter along a bit. If nothing else, these skeever tails are actually worthwhile. They make excellent poison potions. Since I can poison my arrows now with the enchantment as well as with actual poisons, it'll be quite useful. Right then. Avoid the trap. Well, I suppose it's less a trap and more just... You walked right into it, didn't you? It's a spiky, sharp ball. Why would you walk into it? Goodbye, the divines. Right. Well, here comes the next fun part. Let's go through the back door, shall we? No, nope. Well, that wasn't what I wanted at all. The downside of the back door, it's always locked quite tight. Take that however you will. No, no, no. Right. There we are. Once you find the spot, it's fine. Right then. We need to be very careful in here. She said there were 8 of them. That is not something I am excited about by any means. That said, we probably can't avoid killing them and getting into a fight. Or at least I highly doubt it. More likely, we're going to have to fight our way in whether we like it or not. The difference is going to be... Well, this is all fantastic. Time to open that bag of mine. The difference is going to be whether or not we do it intelligently or get swarmed from all angles and die. Interesting. Oh, those might actually be good for you, Inigo. Some food. Nothing I need right now. Potions. Potions of healing are always welcome. Now's not the time for you to be trying to change outfits, however. There's one. Is this a choke point? Or can they swarm us from the other side? Looks as though... they're all focused in that area. Perfect. Alright. So, they can only come from this direction. Theoretically. Make sure I have the layout properly memorized. What is this? It's locked, so I doubt there's reinforcements in here, but just in case. Oh, there's a strong box. Garlic. No. No. There we are. Perfect. Getting quite good at that now. It's just taking me a bit of time to shake off the rust. Alright. So they are all most certainly focused. Good lord. She wasn't kidding when she said this man was loaded. Right then. Just double check to make sure we're in the clear. Alright. Well then, in that case, let's see what we can do here, shall we? Hello everyone, and thank you for watching. If you'd like to see future content, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification icon. If you'd like access to bonus content, such as special privileges on my personal Discord, extra information on my stories and world building, or perhaps simply wish to support my work here, please consider becoming one of my patrons on Patreon. Thank you for all your time, and I can't wait to see you in the next chapter of our story.